I'm the founder and CEO of GetFunded.bio. Our platform, the most advanced platform to actually find investors that are a true fit for your company, whether that's in MedTech, TechBio, Therapeutics, and so on. In this video, how do we actually build a platform and how do we set up the search filtering and company classification to actually show you how trustworthy the data is that we actually have on the platform, currently over 4,000 investors. And to find investors that are relatively interesting or that are relevant for your company. What you're seeing here is a schematic overview of how we built the database. That starts actually with identifying funding deals historically. And the way that we do that is we look at all different places, see this as a funnel, we tighten this all together. We search for websites, for LinkedIn posts, press releases, we look on Google, on Crunchbase, but also PitchBook. We scraped over 30,000 funding, but magic happens actually in the company enrichment pipeline. So once we found a recent funding deal, we actually bring it into an enrichment pipeline. And I would like to show this example to you with Illumina because most of you actually know this company. But what we do is we bring it into our enrichment pipeline, and the most important step there is that we do a keyword extraction based on information about Illumina in this case that we can find on their website, but also their LinkedIn or Crunchbase, Apollo, so all different sources. And we set up this keyword extraction to find out what the company does and bring back a series of 10 keywords that actually describe the core focus of this company. So that's the starting point. And once we have done that, we go back to our second algorithm where we say, okay, based on these keywords, what is the main category that fits this business the best, and what is the subcategory that fits this business the best? And this is one of the most important aspects of the platform because this process allows us to have really specific and granular search filters for the biotech and life sciences industry. Now, one important thing to know on the main and subcategory, you might be wondering, okay, that's all nice, but how did you define them? How did you came up with them? Because that's relatively important for me as I'm trying to find investors that match my business. Well, what we did is after scraping 30,000 companies, we actually created a map of the market, a MECE market map with different main categories, and for each main category up to 8 different subcategories. And I can show this actually to you if you are in the platform under the Learning Hub. You can actually have an overview of the search categories. So based on these 30,000 companies that we scraped and that we classified in this way, we ended up with a bunch of main categories, for example, therapeutics and pharmaceuticals, and associating subcategories. Now for this, we actually looked at over 2 million unique keywords that we scraped from these companies and ended up with a very deep and detailed market classification. Now at this stage, we have a company, we have a funding deal, and we have a main and subcategory. Now obviously, you are looking for potential investors. What's the next step? Well, most of the time from the funding deal information, we can actually know who invested in the company. So in this specific example, we have a few investors like Chase and ARK who invested in Illumina. And what we do is we bring both the keywords as well as the main and the subclass category back to the investor. So now we know, for example, that Chase invested in next generation sequencing through this deal. And obviously this adds up. This is just a single example of Illumina, but if you look at the investors in our database, we actually say, okay, an investor needs to make a minimum of 3 investments in this sector for not to be a one-off, but actually have a structured deal pipeline for this sector. We take the information from the company and then we associate it back to the specific investor. And once we have that and the investor is listed a minimum of 3 times through all the deals that we scrape, It goes into our enrichment pipeline, and this time we go back to the website of the investor, the LinkedIn profile, Crunchbase, PitchBook, Apollo, so all different sources where we bring in all of the information of the investor. And from there, we have another AI classification that determines, based on the investor information, for example, okay, so what stages do they actually invest in if we look at their entire portfolio? What is the type of the investor? Is it actually a venture capital? Is it, for example, a family office or a bank? What are the preferred locations? So where are they actually investing? Is that across Europe? Is that globally? Or is that just very locally within the US, for example? We find the contact information, we find the investment team on LinkedIn, we further enrich that, and at that stage, only then we actually bring it in to the platform. So it's a very robust way of identifying specific investors and associating the historical investments that they made for you to actually be able to find them and to filter and to search them. Welcome in the platform. We're starting a new search. I'm going to the search, investor search section. And here you see that you can actually build a custom query. And first of all, there are a few ways to actually search for investors. We can search by sector, so main and subcategory classification. But we can also search by keywords, for example. And in the keyword search, we can actually search for terms related to what you're seeing over here. Or we can look for a specific investor by searching for a company name. But in this example, let me show you first of all how to search based on the main and the subsectors. Let's say that I am a early stage venture and I am looking for a venture capital firm. So I select early stage, I select venture capital, and I am based in the United Kingdom, for example. Now, the target investment country is very important because for each investor, we actually looked at where are they investing. So if you select the country that your business operates in as the target investor country, you actually get the investors who, in this case, invest in the UK specifically. About 1,200 investors in the database that say, or that we have identified, are actively investing in the United Kingdom. Obviously, you can also search for a specific an investor in a specific location, but we think that this is the most robust way to actually find investors that match. 233. I will leave it with this.